Executive order has spawned protests at airports across the country.
Find out what CW had to say in relation to the new immigration bill.
And find out where you should go in town to watch the Super Bowl this Sunday. I'm Soma Lambert.
And I'm Samuel Beaumont. Donald Trump has received a lot of backlash since signing an executive order banning all immigration from 7 Muslim countries for 90 days.
Protesting at airports began immediately after the news of Trump's order hit Saturday. Over 30 people were arrested while protesting at SeaTac Airport, and Kent Thomas, a University of Washington student, was one of the many who were pepper sprayed and detained. Thomas shared his Facebook Live video with us, which captured the entire incident. Studies say it's not refugees committing terrorist attacks that we should be worried about. A Statista survey shows that since 9/11, only 12 refugees have reportedly been involved in jihadist terrorism. That's the kind of terrorism the ban is supposed to protect us from. As you can see, 82%.
We're way more likely to be hit by a train than killed by a refugee. I mean, in general, terrorism isn't that prevalent, but since 9/11, the terrorist attacks have been done mostly by people on American soil who are already here. And citizens and so on. And some people have noted, at least in the case of refugees, they already have to go through a process to be allowed in, to be seen, given asylum and so on. And most of them, obviously, logically speaking, why would they come here to attack us? They're trying to flee a horrible situation.
While still unclear, Schaefer says at the end of the 90 days, Trump's administration should be able to determine whether this new process has been effective enough to continue or move forward with other screening processes.
CW works to ensure the safety of all students from all the different cultures here on campus. The CW president, James Gaudino, sent out a letter to students and faculty saying Central pledges their determination to protect the freedom and security of students and employees. The Office of International Studies and Programs also joined in on a national social media campaign reminding students you are welcome here.
Everyone at Central Washington University,
you are welcome here.
The video shows many students from all different countries to reflect on the diversity at Central's campus, but the school also urges all staff to be inclusive, reaching out to student government as well.
Central is, like any other college, is a melting pot for cultural differences, and we have to really make that statement.
Schools across the nation, including Central, participate in the hashtag #YouAreWelcomeHere to support students and teachers of different cultures.
Google, Amazon, and other industry-leading tech companies are being significantly impacted by the ban. These companies are responding by putting protection policies into action which allow green card holders to maintain employment. However, some immigrants carry a H-1B visa card. It's a temporary visa not protected by these policies. There are only a limited number of H-1B visas left. Graduates who have not obtained citizenship may have difficult time finding work in their tech field if they are seeking out employment with these companies.
If it continues to go like this over the next 4 years, what that probably means is fewer H-1B visas, which means less of a chance of getting that job. So my counsel to that person would be take a look at some other areas outside tech that still offers H-1B visa, for instance, medical.
The CW Business and Tech departments are waiting on further clarification on what the ban means for these visa holders before more official statements are made. If you are a business or IT major and have any questions on whether this may affect you or not in the future, talk to your advisor or head over to the ITAM office. I'm super happy that there's a place for students to go if they don't feel welcome here.
You're right, so it's really important for the students, but I'm just kind of glad that the teachers are also getting some of that attention since we have a lot of international teachers on campus.
Absolutely. Coming up next on Central News Watch. There's a new nasal spray that could be a quick fix for drug overdose.
And a CW alum breaks in his new job as the new Secretary of Defense. President Trump's pick for Secretary of Defense, General James Mattis, is the first CW alum to serve in the White House. According to CW Archives Special Collections, Mattis was raised in Richland and graduated in 1971 with a degree in history. He also served in the Air Force ROTC program.
Obviously, it's a pretty big deal, I think, for the whole Central community. I think it's a real morale boost to the cadets here to realize that even though they're from a smaller school, maybe not, it doesn't have as much national recognition as a lot of other schools, we can still do great things.
ROTC officials hope Mattis will support more funding for training organizations.
One thing to consider also is that because he's new in the position, we haven't really felt the full effects of his policies and how that's going to trickle down. So having additional monetary resources and linking that to training, and opportunities for the cadets, I think would go a long way.
Mattis returned to speak at the CW commencement ceremony in 2011. According to the CW President's Office, the Board of Trustees also wrote a resolution honoring him for his accomplishment.
A new drug could help save the lives of those affected by overdose. Kittitas Valley Hospital has a new nasal spray that's easier to administer than previous syringe form of the drug found nationwide.
This nasal spray is a brand new prototype that has come out and absolutely has taken any guesswork out of administering this drug.
The next step for public health officials is convincing law enforcement to carry this drug in the field. So far, there has been some pushback from local precincts.
Trying to get law enforcement and local city, cop, sheriff, up to state patrol to carry this narcotic because of its new form.
While KVH has the drug on hand, it can also be prescribed to patients. Area hospitals and public health officials believe that by making this drug easily accessible and simple to use, that more overdoses can be prevented in the future.
This Saturday, the Chinese Students and Scholars Association will be working with the Chinese language class to host a Lunar New Year festival. The festival includes 5 live performances such as a Tai Chi demonstration, singing, and a talk show.
Have fun, and we have because it's Chinese Lunar New Year, so I think every Chinese want to get together to have fun, no matter how much homework they have, so they want to celebrate.
Working out time schedules for the performances and setup. Ticket sales and advertising run through Friday.
We try to make everyone happy. Yeah, I guess this is the most important goal.
The festival is open to all Central students who purchased a ticket before Saturday, as tickets won't be available at the door.
Every 2 seconds, someone in the United States needs blood. Earlier this week, CW students and staff brought their IDs and signed up to donate blood. Only about 38% of the population is eligible to give blood, and less than 10% of those eligible actually do.
Well, obviously my blood isn't going to my friends, but like I have friends that have hemophilia, and I have friends that have had blood transfusions, and it happens a lot. It's a thing that affects a lot of people, and so I think it's important that we recognize that it's something that's happening in our community and it really affects the people that we interact with every day, potentially.
Due to the abundance of donations at the CW blood drive, the 80-liter unit's goal was met. These donations will be distributed all across Eastern Washington. To donate, visit redcross.org or like us on Facebook for more information on the next blood drive hosted here at CW. For me, I got a needle thing. I'm scared of needles, Sam, so I'm not too comfortable with donating blood.
No, I wasn't scared until this donation, but when I went in to donate blood, I got a hematoma and just blood went everywhere.
That's just unfortunate. Coming up on Central News Watch. CW Athletics enjoyed their signing day at Blue Rock Saloon.
And we'll tell you the best place in town to watch this Sunday's Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl is this Sunday, and local restaurants are preparing for the game.
And CW Athletics had their National Signing Day Wednesday. Simone Corbett is in the studio with this week's sports.
Wildcat coaches, former players, and fans were at Blue Rock Saloon on Wednesday to celebrate the end of recruitment season. Our own Kyler Roberts was downtown to get the latest on Wildcat sports.
Wildcat sports fans headed to Blue Rock for Central's signing day party to take in food, drink, and sports talk. While the fans were there for the party, they weren't present for the countless hours of work and research that goes into recruiting these athletes. National Signing Day only marks the end of a grueling recruitment process. Volleyball head coach Mario Andaya says coaches are always trying to find the right fit for their team.
For us, who are we going to get next to replace, our athletes and some of our star athletes and get the program going in the right direction? So there's a lot of things, a lot of hard work that goes on both sides. Kids are reaching out to schools, we're reaching out to kids and just trying to find that fit. And once we both do, going into signing day, and they actually sign on that dotted line, it's everybody's patting each other on the back, and it's a pretty cool deal.
The party featured a short preview of the upcoming spring sports season, and the head coach from each of the major sports got to speak on their recruiting class of 2017.
National Signing Day is an exciting time for people all over the country, especially for Wildcat fanatics right here in Ellensburg. Head football coach Ian Shoemaker, though, tells me that his favorite part of recruiting is when it's all finished.
Being done with recruiting for this season. No, it's a great time to add. I think of it as a little kid on Christmas Day. I couldn't sleep last night because, we're adding a bunch of new toys to our team for next year.
The newest Wildcat student athletes may not have a huge impact on next season, but they all lay down foundation for the future. From Blue Rock Saloon, Kyler Roberts, Central News Watch.
Make sure to keep an eye out for any new faces out on the court or field this season. If you're looking for a new place in town to watch the Super Bowl this weekend, here's what you need to know. Wing Central will be showcasing the game while serving plenty of food and booze. Sundays, they offer $2 bomb shots, which are best described as not for the weak. In addition to Wing Central, bleachers will also be showcasing the game, although they do not have any special promotions planned yet. Perhaps the best place in town to watch the Super Bowl is Blue Rock Saloon. They're debuting their newly designed menu and will be giving away football-shaped glasses for people who wear their favorite team's gear. The Patriots are searching for their second championship in 3 years, while the Falcons are trying to win their first Super Bowl in franchise history. That wraps up this edition of Central News Watch, of CNW Sports. Please follow us on Facebook at CWU Newswatch and on Twitter at sports_CNW. Soma and Sam, back to you.
Simone, Central's men's and women's basketball teams are on the road right now.
That's right. The men returned from a road trip to Idaho after a loss to Northwest Nazarene. They have home court advantage Saturday night when they take on Montana State. The women are on the road, and tonight they're taking on Western Washington. Then they head north to British Columbia for a matchup against Simon Fraser on Saturday.
Thanks, Simone. These two teams have had a rough time the last couple weeks, so I'm anxious to see if they can get back on track.
I'm kind of glad. We've had a few losses back-to-back, but this game, they might actually bring us some confidence for the rest of the season.
Absolutely. Coming up next on Central News Watch. A valued CW librarian announces her retirement.
And Habitat for Humanity is looking for the next partner family.
Habitat for Humanity is an international organization building affordable homes with volunteers and partner families around the world. The Kittitas branch of Habitat has constructed 17 houses in Kittitas County. The partner families moving into these houses work alongside Habitat volunteers to build their new homes. The branch is currently looking for their next partner family. Joining us is Executive Director of the Kittitas branch, Sherry Ott. Thank you for being here, Sherry.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So what are the qualifications for a partner family?
Our partner families are our homeowner families, and they have to have a need. There are three criteria. They have to have a need, an ability to pay a mortgage, and then a willingness to partner with us, meaning that they're going to be putting in sweat equity hours, between 300 and 500 hours, helping to build their house, and they'll also help on somebody else's Habitat house.
Very interesting. So what would you say in terms of challenges finding applicants? Have there been any in the past, or is it easy to find applicants?
There is a great need in Kittitas County, as most of us have heard through the paper and media. So I don't believe that we're going to have any trouble. We haven't had trouble in the past. Some years we have more applicants than others, but this year I believe we'll have more than we've ever had.
Great. Well, what exactly would you say it means to these families when you hand over the keys to their new home that they helped build for the first time?
When a Habitat partner family gets into their home, there is a sense of ownership, of course, but their house has been built. Each house is built by between 400 and 600 volunteers, and there's no way that you could sit in a Habitat home if you were the owner and not feel surrounded by the love that has gone into that home. So that home will give them stability. There won't be ups and downs with rent. They're going to have a stable mortgages based on 30% of their gross income. So it will remain affordable throughout their lifetime, which will allow them to have funds to spend for education for their children, food, medical care. It just improves the partner family's life immensely. There are just so many things that it does for that family.
That's got to be a great sense of relief that they feel when they take that and know that they're going to have this affordable home for just themselves, you know?
It is. It's a great sense of relief, and not only that, but that they have worked with so many people throughout the community, and that's one of the wonderful things about Habitat for Humanity. Is the model is it's built with volunteers, and the volunteers go out to bless the family by building and working on their houses, but they're the ones that become blessed. They walk off of the job site feeling like, wow, what a great day, you know. It helps dispel the myths of families in poverty. It just brings the community together in a wonderful way.
Absolutely. And obviously volunteers are a huge part of that.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, where do you get the majority of your volunteers, would you say?
Our volunteers come from all over Kittitas County. We do get quite a few volunteers from Central. We've had women's basketball team, the women's volleyball team. We've had rugby, the AUAP office, and their ROTC. Just a myriad of students have come out. Then we get people from businesses, corporations sometimes do team building together. And just
exciting.
From all walks of life, all knowledge, the skills and the knowledge that they have about building differs from everyone.
Now, do volunteers have to have some experience in construction, or is it a real learning curve?
There is no experience necessary, and that's where it's great that people that do have the experience are willing to share their experience, so volunteers learn on the job. And that's another bonus for coming out. It's just a wonderful win-win for everybody.
Well, thank you again so much, Sherry, for joining us.
You are so welcome. Thank you.
An orientation meeting for potential Ellensburg families will be held February 9th, 6:30 p.m. in the Hall Home Center at 501 North Anderson Street. For more information on Kittitas Habitat for Humanity, visit kchabitat.org. A CWU librarian recently announced her retirement. Find out her impact next.
Students often go to Brooks Library and look for Patricia Cutright to help with their big research projects. Soon, however, Patricia won't be there as the librarian is about to retire. The academic and research commons on the first floor of the library came about thanks to Cutright and her staff. Students have used the center for over 4 years.
The student can walk in if they've got a term paper that they need to get done. They can walk in, they can talk to a tutor. The tutor can bring in the librarian.
Cutright has also made Brooks Library a safe and welcoming environment for students. Cutright will be hanging around the library for a while as she's planning her retirement this summer.
That wraps up this edition of Central News Watch. Make sure to join us next week as the newly crowned Queen of Ellensburg Rodeo and her court will be in studio to tell us what it's like to be beautiful and intelligent while riding a horse.
We also have a news team in Olympia this week. They'll tell us what bills may have an impact on you and your family until next week. Make sure to follow us on our Facebook at CW Newswatch.
From all of us here at CNW, good night.
Good night.